September 1, 2018. Hail of bullets cuts down Hollywood actress exposing actor George Clooney as leader of gay sex cult. A chilling new Federal Security Service (FSB) report circulating in the Kremlin today states that Hollywood actress Vanessa Marquez was killed in a hail of bullets this past Thursday, 30 August, a day prior to when she was scheduled to meet with Pulitzer Prize-winning American journalist Ronan Farrow, who wanted to interview her for what is being described as a bombshell story he is writing about the NBC television network she once worked for as a cast member on their most valuable program series named Her, and whose co-star, the world-famous actor George Clooney. Marquez had previously accused of being a gay cult leader in the international criminal organization known as Scientology. According to this report, the Foreign Intelligence Service (SVR) is the main state agency responsible for the monitoring of Russian citizens living abroad as their activities could affect national security, and whose largest overseas concern is the state of California in the United States that has one of the largest Russian populations outside the Federation, and is why, in early 2017, the SVR requested investigative assistance from the FSB as to why an abnormal, inordinate number of Russian citizens of modest means were making multiple trips to Los Angeles. Upon an initial investigation by the FSB into the life and persons of Russian citizens traveling to Los Angeles, this report details, it was discovered that their expensive flights to Los Angeles were being paid for by the Church of Scientology, and whose stated purpose for this travel was for these citizens to undergo a cult-like procedure known as State of Clear, that FSB experts sworn is a brainwashing exercise, and not in any recognized religious activity. On June 6, 2017, and based upon the interrogations of the Russian citizens who had undergone this State of Clear brainwashing process in Los Angeles, this report continues, FSB counterintelligence forces raided the offices of the Church of Scientology in St. Petersburg in a search for items and documents confirming the criminal character of this religious group's activities, as certain aspects of this group's financial activities raised questions about whether it was being used as a cover for intelligence activities conducted by unfriendly states, with the FSB's worst fears of this being confirmed after the arrest of Scientology member, and Russian citizen, Alexei Zhitnyuk, who was charged for giving the CIA sensitive information relating to the Russian Navy. Among the unclassified FSB counterintelligence interrogation notes of Russian citizen and CIA spy Alexei Zhitnyuk, this general report contains, the most shocking are his revealing that the Church of Scientology had financed 3 trips for him to travel to Los Angeles so he could undergo the brainwashing State of Clear procedure, which convinced Zhitnyuk that he was an immortal spiritual being called a thing that's immune to all ethics and morality, and whose new body was allowed to engage in numerous homosexual acts with Scientology cult leaders, and Hollywood actors, Tom Cruise, John Travolta and George Clooney, who combined to show and prove to Zhitnyuk that he was a superior being destined to help bring about the destruction of the Russian Federation. With the 2013 book titled Going Clear: Scientology, Hollywood, and the Prison of Belief, and its accompanying 2015 documentary Going Clear, revealing to the world for the first time the true facts surrounding the inner working demonic practices of the Church of Scientology. This report notes, the FSB interrogation of the claims being made by Alexei Zhitnyuk could not be discounted, most particularly because Hollywood actors Tom Cruise and John Travolta are long-known homosexuals having high-ranking power within the Scientology leadership, and Scientology leader George Clooney, also, has a storied history of having father-daughter relationships with his female acquaintances, rather than their being his sexual lovers. The greatest terror of the Church of Scientology, this report explains, is that they and their world-famous Hollywood actors will be fully exposed to the American people for being the homosexual cultists that they really are, and is a justified fear as exemplified by the once powerful Hollywood actor Kevin Spacey, who after his being exposed as a homosexual predator saw his latest multi-million movie earn only $126 at the box office, and that after which, saw Spacey fleeing to the Scientologists to save him. to how deadly and ruthless the Church of Scientology can be to its enemies. This report further explains, has too many examples that can be listed in any brief document, but one of whose most recent examples involves the once highly popular Fox News television host Eric Bolling, who, after inadvertently, some say jokingly, revealing that George Clooney was a homosexual, saw his career destroyed by never-proven sex picture claims, followed by his only child being suicided. To if Hollywood actress Vanessa Marquez knew the full and deadly consequences of her daring to expose the homosexuality of George Clooney and his leadership ties to the Church of Scientology, this report says, remains unknown, but what she was, without a doubt, aware of is that her NBC television network hit show, from the 1990s has now become the most popular program in America today among its millennial generation, thus pitting this actress directly against NBC, Clooney and the Scientologists, all of whom stand to reap millions of dollars from the television series. The proverbial death knell for Hollywood actress Vanessa Marquez, therefore, this report concludes, was sounded when she agreed to meet this past week with Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Ronan Farrow, who already has NBC in his crosshairs, but with real bullets being fired into Marquez to silence her by local police officers, whom the SVR documents had just left the Church of Scientology Pasadena before their traveling to her home located at 1133 Fremont Avenue in South Pasadena, where these police officers claim they met a near-comatose Marquez, stayed with her for 90 minutes without transporting her to a hospital, then decided that they had to fire numerous bullets to defend themselves from what they claim was a toy gun she pulled on them, and whose police body camera footage that recorded this assassination is now under quarantine, not to be released for, at least, the next 6 months, after which time, no one will ever remember who this actress was, or the threat she posed to these vile and demonic elitists who rule America.